Welcome to this series of videos covering the components of the early drum set. The woodblock comes to Western music directly from the Chinese culture, where it was frequently used in religious ceremonies and funerals. It is related to slit drums and temple blocks that you see today. They were made from a variety of woods, and rosewood, mahogany, and camphor were three of the more common types of materials used in the manufacturing processes in the early 1900s. This rosewood leady model is smaller in size than a pound of butter, but it weighs more because rosewood is such a dense material. So dense, in fact, it doesn't always float in water. In this 1913 J.W. Pepper catalog, 2 woodblock sizes were sold. One was for 60 cents and the other $1.25, including the striker. And have you ever wondered about the holes drilled into the ends of the woodblocks? One look at the mount and it all makes sense. Early jazz drummers had to use their imagination because drum sets, or drum outfits as they were called then, were still in their infancy. Despite the limited sonic palette when compared to today's drum sets, drummers at the turn of the last century created a wide range of sounds by utilizing woodblock, cowbell, snare drum, the rim of the snare drum, the bass drum, a pedal cymbal, and a suspended Chinese crash cymbal, and sometimes a choke cymbal or other accessories like sound effects. Today's drummers typically rely on just one sound from their bass drum, but back in the day, everything was fair game. They used the bass drum beater on the calfskin batter head. They used drumsticks on the batter head, just like in the tradition of double drumming. It was common practice to use either the tips or the butt ends of drumsticks to play on the shell and counterhoops as well. Compositions performed by Earl Fuller's jazz band in 1919 featured parts that were written for both woodblock and the shell of the bass drum in the same song, to give a greater variety of sound. In the early 1920s, Ludwig & Ludwig manufactured a woodblock which was cylindrical in shape, producing 2 different tones depending on the side you played. And in the late 1940s, Baby Dodds, who shunned the use of footsock cymbals, still used woodblock as he did in his early years. But it doesn't end at woodblocks. There's more to learn about the early drum sets. In our next video, we'll look at the instrument which was considered to be more noise than music, Chinese cymbals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the East Central Regional Arts Council, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.